Hey everybody, welcome to the Hurry Burke Internet Broadcast Network from the state-of-the-art studios right here in Round Rock, Texas. And hey, this has got to be a first time, right? The guest that's supposed to be here talking on the show tonight has not made it. I've texted him, I've called him, we talked this morning, so something must have happened and hope it's not serious. But so we're going to wing it tonight and talk
Yeah.
about my niche. And guess who's filling in, y'all? This is a treat.
Oh
If
my God.
real treat. If almost funny. And she's
Oh,
laughing. So
oh,
Yvonne, thank you for being my sidekick tonight.
oh, you're welcome. You're
And
welcome.
Yvonne is well. Let's go ahead and just briefly before we get into our sponsors and talk a little bit about the show. Just briefly
Okay.
introduce yourself.
Well,
I mean, your niche is what?
my baby is massage therapy,
Right.
and then I just branch out from there, and I add in aromatherapy, yoga, and herbs, and some other goodies.
So she's gonna fill in tonight as a sidekick for me to
Mhm.
bounce stuff off, and she'll give her thoughts and opinions. She's pretty good about doing that. But
Oh.
we wanted to thank everybody for listening in, and it's Kitchen Table Talk. So the cool thing about it is sometimes when this happens, first time it has happened actually,
I know.
then I got plenty to fall back on, and that's almost good. I just don't like to toot my own horn, but in a sense, we're going to have to do that tonight because for you guys listening in, you're going to find out what totally unprepared sounds like.
Well,
I
I'm kind
can.
of curious. I'm kind of curious what we're going to talk about.
Well, we're going to talk about how important it is for small business to be using video, but we're going to talk about the umbrella effect of all the changes that are going on with Google search and how it all ties together. We're going to talk a little bit about some important things people can be doing, my opinions from what I'm reading on trends that are going on from all the reading I do and research I do. So we should give a pretty good uh, feedback of what clients are going through right now, trying to find tactics that work within their marketing for their local market. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let's talk a little bit about the show. If you happen to be listening in to this debacle, I don't know what to say except to
It'll
tell
be
it'll be fine
fine.
and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But listen up real quick. We've got 8 sponsors. We got one more show to go in September before we start the next 20 shows. All my sponsors have re-anteed up.
See, that's awesome.
Two of them are holding out, but
Yeah.
we're going to add 3 more.
See, that's really good.
And that's really cool that we'll have almost 11 sponsors for the
Yay.
show, which is really good, and I'm going to clap about that.
Yeah.
That was a little loud in my ear, but
Was
that's
it?
okay. Yeah, I had the I had the headphones. Whoa! I just shook my head. But anyhow, guys, we're I want to thank 2 of them right off the bat. I want to talk a little bit, and this is real important. Cell phone repair right here in Round Rock, Texas, located at La Frontera. They're right next, almost near Hooters, and right next door to Jimmy John's, about 4 doors down. They are a full-fledged cell phone repair shop, computer repair shop. But as you all know, all the i6 just launched this week, right? And those S5s and S2s. And by the way, if Apple had been really cool,
Yeah.
Yvonne,
Yeah.
they would have put Roman numerals on their phones instead of copying everybody else, right?
I
They had the kind
know.
of Apple effect instead of like S5, O6, whatever. Everybody
Uh-huh.
else does that. They
Uh-huh.
should have Roman numeraled all their different ones. And there'll be probably 100 iPhones by the time they're done because they figured they can sell 10 million every time they launch a new
Uh-huh.
one, right?
Every
Even
year.
every month. They can have another. The 7 will be out in 3 months. You watch. And oh, it's bigger and even better, but no big deal. But anyhow, so you guys have a phone. If you can't trade it in or trade it up and you stuck with that phone, there's 2 things I want you to do. First of all, they would love to get the phone from you. But the second most important thing you need to do is you need to clear your data. Um, a lot of people turn it in their phones, right? And they're not getting their data off, and it's still got apps on it and stuff. So they need to go through the process to clear that out, and these guys can help. These guys have also those phones are valuable, but some of y'all may have cracked your screens or they may need some repair before you resell them. They're offering, I think, a special on their Facebook page, CPR Cell Phone Repair Round Rock. Go look them up, but go by and see them. and let them repair that phone so you can turn around and sell it to somebody else or sell it back or whatever.
I went and saw them today. They're really nice people.
They're good people.
Mm-hmm.
They're good folks.
They really
and I
are.
know you had a battery problem or something, so you went over there to take care of that, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
So that's cool. So I've got Yvonne sitting next to me.
Hey, everybody.
And we'll just have some fun. And then also I want to thank Danny L. Smith, DannyLSmith.com is launching, just went through a 12-week awesome course, webinars with him on the phone. He's my personal coach, but him and a gentleman by the name of John Griffin are both John Maxwell certified. We've been going through a 12-week webinar, and it's been really enlightening for me. I've been doing some journaling on it, but he's also just launched a program called StopWastingHandshakes.com. So go check out StopWastingHandshakes.com. And he's got a couple free videos. He's got a bunch of cool worksheets. And so if you're having a problem collecting business cards and you get home and there's a nice stack on your desk, or you're just putting them in a box and you're not logging them and you're not following up, well, this is the perfect place for you to go visit. StopWastingHandshakes.com.
That's a good pitch. I like that.
I do too. I like the name of the title.
And he's done really well with you.
Yeah, he's done a good job with me, and he's enlightened me. And sometimes I get really angry with him because there's too many things I got to change that I don't like to change. But that's part of growth, you know, and that's the cool part. So we want to thank two of our sponsors. Thank you, guys. All right, so for you guys listening in, the ones that come on and join the broadcast every week, thank you. You know what I do, but for those of you who might be listening in or just grabbing this, it's an audio outbound. I don't put the camera on. It's not like I don't like to be on camera. It's just that I've always done this show in radio format. So when I moved it over from a Windows server and brought it on to Google Hangouts on Air, I just decided to mute the cameras and keep it audio. So if you're jumping into the event, listen in. Glad to have you, and hopefully you'll get to learn some things tonight and see what I'm thinking and see what I think's happening and trending right now, and how video works for small business and how Google is really hyper-local. Yeah.
So am I interviewing you? How's that?
No, you're just going to sit there and
because I was going to ask you what your favorite color was.
Okay, well, go ahead. That's fine.
So what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Blue. I don't know. I mean, you know, yeah, I like blue.
Favorite band?
Led Zeppelin.
Last concert?
Rolling Stones. Really, the largest concert I ever went to was in Dallas back in the 80s. It was the Rolling Stones and ZZ Top at the Cotton Bowl. Last concert.
Wow.
Now, I have covered a lot of music with going down when I used to do the radio show, the internet show covering musicians at musicians.net in Dallas. So I interviewed a lot of the top bands in Dallas on that internet show. A lot of the Dallas, at the time, the Dallas Morning News, not the Herald, but the Morning News.
Yeah.
I interviewed all those critics, music critics. When bands would come to town and camp out, we get an interview on the show with them. So I've sat in some pretty cool people covering music. So that was the last big concert. Most of the other people I listened to were in a studio playing acoustical without their guitars plugged in and everything. So it was kind of cool. We had acoustical sets for these bands when they came in. So it's kind of cool. All right, what else?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
No other questions? All right, fine.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
let's go on. What are we going to talk about?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the umbrella.
Of what?
Well, I want to talk about what's going on in the world of changes on social networking. As you know, it was kind of the wild, wild west when it started, right? And a lot of these, like Facebook, weren't IPO. Twitter wasn't IPO at the time. Google was trying to decide their direction and how they were going to make Google and encompass all their apps and programs, and so they came out with G Plus in 2011.
What is IPO?
Well, that's when they go public, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is a real broad opinion umbrella, right? And that is that because Facebook and a couple other ones have gone IPO, that means that they have to make money. That means that they have to please their shareholders. the people buying the stock,
Right.
So,
right. It's a business now.
so Facebook is turned into definitely a business, and um, the last articles I've been reading the last 3 months, and this is seems to be true. You can go out and research it. Is that there's very little reach now from your business pages to your people you're trying to attract, right? Because of the way they've changed their algorithms.
Well, I mean, I totally haven't noticed too much of a change, but I mean, I'm sure somebody who has a great
Well, some of the big
following
brands,
probably would have,
you know,
yeah.
are not seeing the results they were getting as opposed to where they're posting now. The organic part of that is getting less and less. Okay, which means that that's why you're seeing promotion ads. That's why you're seeing ads on there to boost, you know, a post or something to pay for it to get it out to a demographic or a target and to set up some advertising. All
So
right.
is there like a smart way of working with that?
Well, stay within your, you know, if you've got loyal fans on your business page or likes, right, and they're interested in what you're doing, yeah, you will certainly want to post to them, and you want to make sure that and ask them to help you by sharing the videos or the post out to other people. But I'm saying they're not showing up in every single place that you post it, right? You may not see your post on the news feed. You may not see your post that it may be encapsulated in your page, okay? So you might, but again, I'm talking local. So from a local standpoint, it's a great place because from a local standpoint, you're trying to build likes and you're trying to build a following if you're in a local market. And that's really what you care about. So what I'm trying to tell people is don't necessarily worry about the search part of it. Just keep sharing your great content out to the people that you have connected to you, but don't overwhelm them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how some people post like every 5 minutes and your notifications are loaded up with one person and it goes down 18 pages?
Well, I have 3 pages, so I have to admit
Yeah, but
that
I've seen some that have posted all day
I tend to
long,
do
and
that.
then you click the notifications, the only person that shows up is that
Yeah.
person, and it takes up 2 pages, and it's like, I want to delete this person so bad,
Well,
but
yeah.
I like them,
Yeah.
you know, so.
But I mean, I have my pages are set out to where I have gardeners, I have herb people, and I have my massage. So I mean, I don't have the same people on all my pages. I have an actual like group to cater to, but it just so happens that some of them are all on all 3 of them, and they get kind of bombarded by all that stuff. So it could possibly be the same thing.
Yeah, if it's not, you know, if you're not selling and you're pushing out great information, then that's a good thing if people can use it, right? But I still think that so many posts and so many other social networks that you should really pick your places and place really important content. So moving on, let's talk a little bit about Google. They have made so many changes in the last year, 4 major algorithm changes. I'm not going to name them. Just trust me when I tell you that they keep launching them and they keep fine-tuning their search query. And honestly, and they have number 1 is Google, number 2 is YouTube. So the sister company they own is the 2nd largest search engine, right? And you definitely want to be on those. So, but Google has really, when they launched G Plus and they encapsulated everything around the G Plus concept and the business page, right? They really want content when people search and type in a certain query. They really want to match that search query that person's typing in as close as possible. So they are eliminating all the junk that, you know, when you typed in shoes, you got something besides shoes, right? There was a lot of black hat backlinking, which is bad, and they got rid of that, or slowly getting rid of that. They changed algorithms as of the last one was Pigeon, and that's what it was deemed and called by search. I was reading some articles, and you don't see the video snippets anymore.
You don't.
You see a huge decline in those, and that hurt everybody across the board, right?
Mhm.
Because my feeling, and I wrote this in my blog, is that Google knows that if a thumbnail's on that first page and it's an image, that more people are probably going to click on that than they are going to look at the sponsored ads at the top and down the right-hand side of the page, right? So
Correct.
when you take away that visual effect, you might leave the actual link there, but when you take away the video snippet, now you're giving people choices and maybe they're more apt to ad.
Yeah, the
So,
visual is very important.
right, but you won't see many of those. What you will see, I do see they pulled the Google authorship part of that too. Now, part of the reason they said they did this was because they know that most people search on mobile, and they didn't want to tie up having big clips right on the mobile. They want it to be a clean search. Now that's coming straight from one of the reasons. All right.
Well, I get that. I get that.
So I do too. But my point is that what that means to a small business that my niche is in video is that the folks I've been dealing with for the last 4 years, I have told them over and over again that you can't be guaranteed any kind of placement at all on first page or period, right? Because Google doesn't promise that. So what does that mean a person has to do to get their video in the second largest search engine, which is YouTube, and then make sure that it becomes relevant content so when people search, right,
Correct.
and type in maybe they type in how to fix my water heater video, right? If they're sharing that back to their social footprint, meaning adding links to their Facebook, to their Google Plus page, to their LinkedIn, to their Twitter, and what other Pinterest, what other social networks are on, and getting their friends to help them share that and watch it, then that's going to help their cause. All right? So, but video has other uses. For instance, I am still stunned, amazed in this age of video that more websites do not have an intro video on the front page.
I kind of agree on that one because it totally explains the theme of what they do in so many seconds, and sometimes it's faster to go through that video than it is to read through all their stuff.
Yeah, because what would you rather do? Read it, or watch it, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a intro video on your page, it introduces your company. Also, it humanizes the video. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that the owner of the business is front and present.
Correct.
You're building know, like, and trust. The people get to meet the business owner, right? And it's visual, and it's appealing, and it's emotional. So those are the things that our senses key into, and so you're building a rapport with somebody before you meet them.
Absolutely.
And you're talking about your business, you know. Now, I've had several questions about the right kind of videos for small business, and let's talk about that a little bit. I have businesses all the time I deal with go, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what kind of videos to do.
And they're kind of right because they're really kind of right to ask that question.
Right, and they should. It's a great question.
Because they're stepping out into a world, and if they're not, and they've never done it before, that's a guidance of knowing what to do and how to present themselves. And if they do start out with a series of how-tos, or it's just
my number one thing that I hear is I'm scared to be in front of the camera, and I don't want to mess up, and then I have to ease their mind that that's not a problem. We go through lots of practice, and we go through lots of takes, and we go through a normal process of bullet points and get it nailed down. But I don't let my people on these short video clips get into scripting. And the reason I don't, and a lot of people disagree with this, is I have found that when you scripted something, they tried to memorize every line, the ifs, ands, and the buts, right? So what do? I tape the bullet points to my chest,
Okay.
So that when a person's looking through me through the camera, right, they can remember the bullet points and they can just be them natural selves. But here's what I tell clients all the time. You're a small business. You have a website. What are 5 questions your clients constantly ask you over and over again?
That's perfect.
And I say, sit down and think those out. Kind of come up and say, what do people ask you when they call you or they visit you or they email you? What is the question that they're asking? Make those questions in the videos.
Yeah, I would.
You know, hey, we are open from 7 to 8, right? We're located over here. You know, this is what we do. Just any frequent questions that you get, convert those to small short clips and then put those on the website at the appropriate place, right? So if they're clicking an About Me page, right, or about the business, you might put 1 or 2 of them there. Hey, here's a question we get all the time, right? So if you're a small business, think about all the questions you get and take the top 5 and convert those to videos. And then once you do that, that's where I come in and help you. And that is that I will take all the stress off of the YouTube construction, the uploads, the editing, and push those out there for you and show you how to get those connected to your social footprint, because that is the biggest fear. People tell me all the time, man, I have no idea what to do. I don't have a clue. And, you know, even though we're carrying around these smartphones and iPhones and they got great cameras on them, that's fine. They shoot this video and sometimes they hold it straight up where it's up and down and not horizontal, right? And then they have it and they upload it and, you know, and they don't put any titles on it. They don't put a link to the website. They don't have a banner on their YouTube channel. It's not branded, right?
Right.
And did you know that Google's YouTube just got surpassed Facebook as the largest social network?
I believe that. I believe that.
And that's pretty incredible when you think that 1 billion videos are watched a day on Facebook. But most of those are YouTube putbacks. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're links on YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube and you feel like you're being, and that's just a step you don't understand, that's not a problem. There's plenty of us out there. I'm in Austin and I serve this local area, so if you're listening from outside there, there's plenty of people that can help you get started with the YouTube channel and take that on. Now the cool thing is, let's talk about also something I think is real important. The Social Media Examiner put out last year they surveyed 2,500 marketers. I was included in that, asking certain questions about trends and what people were going to be doing in 2014. What was the biggest thing people were going to be doing? And did you know that the biggest thing people wanted to do was start a blog?
Yep.
Okay, and the reason is a blog can be a hobby. It can be about your business. It can be, you know, hopefully if you're in business, you've got something cool you can talk about on your business. But WordPress, I use Blogger. Blogger is Google owned. There's a reason I use Blogger, because it's connected to that G Plus account, to that wagon wheel, right? That Google's encapsulated that. So when you build a Blogger blog through Google, it automatically connects it to your G Plus account. It gets it out there, and again, it gets yourself into search, right?
Correct.
But you have to work it. You know, you have to share the link. Again, it means you have to share your blog. You have to have write good material. You've got to give people good tips. But guess what? It's a great place.
It's a redundant. Actually it's redundant. It allows you to take one voice and it automatically spreads out in 3 different directions for you without even having to do anything.
Just click a button and post, right?
Correct.
And that's the
and it's a redundancy. And if you add a video to your blog, it does the same thing. It does the same redundancy.
And when you share one on YouTube and you go to share it, you can share it back to your blog or embed it in your blog, right?
Correct.
And it shares it to your G Plus account automatically.
Correct.
So the reason I try to tell people is they want to be on YouTube is not because there's not other great user-generated sites, right? There's Vimeo, there's some other places that you can disperse your videos. It's that number one, it's free. so,
Correct.
so you know, you've got the second largest search engine giving you a TV station. When you create the blogger or the blog, and you're writing about your business, you can import images, you can import video, you can share that. And so my recommendation for a small business when I start with video is, look, we also need to start the blog with this, because the blog is going to become really important for encapsulating all your activity, right, and building a following.
Correct. And you can take your blog and connect it to Pinterest. You can connect it to, oh gosh,
LinkedIn.
There's some LinkedIn. You can it just goes from
Twitter.
There.
Tweet.
Yeah.
I don't have a bird sound.
And you can even
I?
connect your Facebook. You can connect your Google video to Facebook, which automatically you can connect it to Tweet, and it will automatically tweet.
There's a sound effect.
What was that?
It was delayed. It was delayed. So go ahead, keep going.
No.
No, keep going.
So you can connect your Facebook to your Twitter, and you don't even have to go to all those social sites. They all kind of connect with each other.
Right. So that leads me to another point, and that is, she mentioned that is, some of you may be set up with Buffer, Hootsuite, or something like that, so you can even go set up a dashboard on a site where you can load up your social networks, right? And
Correct.
You can share from there and schedule out posts. So if you shot a video and you want to say, hey, Friday, I want to post this on this site, you can schedule that. So you can kind of be out of town and have a whole week's worth of posts scheduled to go out so that you're posting, right? So there's Hootsuite's a good one to start with. Buffer is really good. I recommend those. Those are dashboards to manage your social sites. There's a lot more. I encourage you to look at those. Now, so let's get back to why the video is so important for small business. I just read an article today that video has the highest conversion rate of any type of tactic used in advertising or pushing yourself out on your social sites.
Correct. I agree.
And the reason is because when it's watched, it gets a good response, and generally people will click through to something if you offer a call to action. So this is the second thing I want to tell you. If you're a small business and you're going to create your own videos on your iPhone or smartphone, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, make sure at the end of that video, when you finish, you give some sort of call to action. Hey, go visit my website. I'd love to meet with you. Drop by and see us if you're a brick and mortar store. But give them some sort of call to action so that give them something to do. If you just say thank you and have a good day, you didn't do anything. Just give them some sort of call to action. All right. So now, some of the other ways you can a small business can get video out. I don't know if people are aware of this or not, but on LinkedIn, you know, they've got not only the personal page but the business page, right? If you've got an email that has it's a business email and it's not like a Gmail or something like that, you can create a business page. But you can go back into your profile right now, and if you have a YouTube channel with some videos, you can add links on your main profile page under your experience and summary. And if you have videos and you're not doing that, you're losing out, because I will tell you, since I put mine on there, I've added 100 people in the last 5 months.
So have I.
Just putting video up. People have commented, hey, I like the videos, or I'm adding you, that's great, I want to know more about that. So again, putting video on your LinkedIn profile is beneficial, and it's real simple. You just go edit your profile, and there's a link box under your summary in your experience area. You copy the URL from your YouTube video, and you just drop it right in there. It's just like a hyperlink, and boom, it's gone. All right. So
yeah, I added video to my LinkedIn, and I just increased 200 people in the last month.
Yeah. So I mean, so yeah.
And I also increased a whole bunch of people on my About Me page.
And that's another place you can go do things. So there's a ton of social networks, but for me, I tell people, if you really want to get jump started with video online, you need to be on YouTube. You need to get your G+ set up. You need to make sure that you have a verified business page, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. I went through a whole broadcast on that about a month ago. It's real important.
I really need to do that. That is just a beast.
Right. So let's take a break.
Yay!
And let's name some more sponsors.
Okay.
AMS Garage Stores is located here in Round Rock, and that's amsgaragestores.com. They service all of Austin, but what I love about them is all their prices are on their website, amsgaragestores.com, and they're transparent. So that you already know what you're paying before you come. But Yvonne,
what?
You drove your Mercedes home, you parked in the garage door went halfway down, it finally broke. The next day, they'll come out 24/7, get the car out of the garage, secure that garage door, and then come out and finish it the next day.
See, that's so cool.
And they are cool, and they're a sponsor,
so
and
cool.
We want to thank those guys for being sponsors. That's amsgaragestores.com. Go check out their website, and that's fun. And by the way, my guest is still not here.
I know.
Still hasn't called. My feelings are hurt. But something messed up. Either he messed up or I messed up.
Bless his heart. I hope he's okay.
All right. So Mike O'Neill, mkoneal.com. Mike O'Neill's a money coach.
Yeah, Mike is cool.
And Mike is now working, teaching training sessions within corporations to help people learn how to get those money budgets in order young in life so that you have something to fall back on later in life, which is kind of cool. So you need to go check out MK O'Neill. That's Mike O'Neill, the money coach, mkoneal.com. He's got webinars on there. He's got interviews from seminars he's done. He's got guy and worth going and checking out, and he speaks all over. He's got a schedule on his webpage that'll knock your socks off. He speaks all over the country, all over the place. So Mike O'Neill, mkoneal.com.
Yay!
All right, so we got like 30 minutes left, believe it or not.
Do we really?
Yeah, time flies.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so the video, are you going to talk about the video, or are you going to go?
No, go ahead.
Well, because I wanted to say that I'm on YouTube a lot, watching the videos on YouTube. And I've been asking people, what you've been doing. They're like, oh, I'm just cruising on surfing YouTube, and they watch all these videos, like how-to videos, like funny videos, any kind of video. They're just on YouTube watching videos.
Yeah, and another thing I tell people, I have people all the time searching two ways, right? They go to the regular Google search box, right? Type in how to do something. I think that's effective, but it's not near as effective as going to youtube.com and in their search query box, typing in, let's take Aloha Plumbing, who's one of my clients, right? Who just did a whole series on descaling a water heater, right?
Correct.
How to descale a tankless water heater.
Okay.
It's been up less than 3 weeks.
Okay.
It's over 800 views.
See, I mean,
and it's just perfect because it teaches the homeowner exactly what they have to do step by step. And that was the newest one, the washing machine, taking the stuck washing machine hose off, 800 views.
Oh my gosh.
Because people didn't know that they could cut the hose without hurting anything and twist it off without yanking and pulling it, right?
Right.
And he just looked at me and goes, "You are kidding me."
Yeah.
I said, and he said, "Wow."
Yeah,
and I said,
huge.
Imagine putting 700 people in a room.
Yeah, and it's huge. It's huge.
So search on YouTube for videos is what I'm trying to tell people.
And now he's got a rapport with all those individuals, and so if they really need somebody to come out, they can at least know his personality, know who he is, and know that, he may not be some crooked plumber and take the money and run.
Right, and it's got his intro video standing from his beautiful plumbing truck, on his
really
front page. And he's also working his social network. We're building out that platform for him and adding some new stuff for him. So, it's really more about having fun with it than it is about worrying about it. I tell this to clients all the time.
Yeah.
Relax and enjoy the journey. Don't try to make everything happen overnight. Just start building it, start posting, start pushing out videos. Get a blog started, talk about things you love to do, and just let it build. Structure it.
I need to actually start getting back to my videos because I kind of let them hang because I've been doing some other stuff. And I can do how-to garden stuff, I can do the cooking stuff, and actually my next adventure was to actually go into that cooking world and doing cooking with the herbs and, you know, the wild edibles. And
You did an Alfredo sauce video that we shot.
well, that was the basics.
Which
So I
was
wanted
pretty
to
cool.
do the basics of certain stuff and then teach how to add to those basics and what you can add to it and to make it fun and creative. So, I mean, it's just,
And by the way, while we're sitting here, this is Yvonne Lane, who you'll never hear on the show. It's amazing. Why don't you tell them your website, since we've got them sitting here, so people can go check it out.
Okay, it's www.induluv,
the number 4, .com.
the letter U,
The letter U.
.com.
You better say it again. We'll put a link on this, but go ahead and say it again.
Okay, www.induluv, the number 4, the letter U.com.
There you go.
InDoLoveForYou.com.
She's got some great stuff on there. Very intense, tons of stuff on the website.
Yeah, I do.
So go check it out.
I do. I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm in a very tactical niche in what I do, but I've also expanded that niche because I've realized in the last 3 years being in business, when I finally get into a small business and I start helping with the video, they start asking me other things, Yvonne, like, well, I want to learn how to do Twitter. Or I want to make sure my G+ is right.
Then
I want
the
you to help
social
me
world
with
starts
LinkedIn,
coming out.
right?
Yeah.
And then I want you to explain to me AdWords.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really considering doing some AdWords campaigns.
Social world comes out.
And so I get involved in all those aspects eventually with the small business, because the business owner needs to be working, you know, in his business, not always on it, right? I mean, you want to be working in your business, making sales, having people come in and buy your stuff, and you don't want to sit out here and worry about all this stuff you have to do after hours. And what happens is they get really fired up for a while, and then they don't have time, and it goes away.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you can do, is get something really going and then let it sit and get inactive.
Right.
You really want to make sure that that's at least being posted on, and you're continually doing videos. And by the way, Google's main algorithm that really people need to understand on YouTube is that they consider relevant content that's engaged and is active, and here's the killer. It's not about views.
It's not.
It's about watch time.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say it one more time. It's about watch time.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because Google believes that a video that's watched fully is relevant. Okay? And so if I'm a small computer business across the street from a big computer company that's obviously going to have everybody clicking on it, right, and their employees and looking at the new one, compared to me, the small guy across the street.
Correct.
Well, if it was all about views, guess what? You'd never be found.
Correct.
But it's not. It's about watch time. And so why do I tell people to keep their video clips in that 1 to 2, 3 minute range? It better be, how-tos better be really good if it's going to be over 2 minutes.
Correct.
You need to keep them in the 30 to 60 minute range. Get to your point. Make your call of action.
Mm-hmm.
Get them up. And they don't have to be perfect.
No.
A lot of people will put up on YouTube with watching videos just because they like the information.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about somebody being themselves. And so I have come up with one of my newer products, and it's called the iPhone Smartphone Package. Real original, huh?
Oh.
All right, so what does that mean? Well, it means this. Look, I'm going to admit that as trends change in this market, I have to change with them. And so I want to meet my customers where they're at, okay? I do. And here's what I'm going to offer. If you have an iPhone or a smartphone, you live in Austin, that's just about everybody, right? In your small business, start shooting videos about your business on these phones. I'm going to show you how to transfer that video with an app called WeTransfer. Matter of fact, if you have an iPhone or a smartphone right now, go to Google Play or go to your app store on Apple and download WeTransfer. And when you want to transfer a large video file, it's free, up to 2 gigs, I think 10 gigs now. I'll have to check that, but that's still big enough.
Right.
If you shoot a 1 to 2 minute video, you can transfer that. You can by email it to somebody, and they can download it and do what they want with it. So what's happened is I'm still going to build their YouTube channel.
Well, I mean, they can make little short clip snippet videos and send them, and you can piece those together and make a story out of it.
That's right. That's my point.
Yeah.
So instead of me having to come out and shoot something or miss it and can't be there, and you've got something important you want to shoot, right? Just make sure you put you hold the phone. There's a tip on my Facebook page, but if you hold the phone horizontal and put the left side to left eye, and shoot it horizontal. I will sit down as part of the package, build out their YouTube channel, sit down with them, consult with it, get it all branded, get their banners up, get all the links to their websites, get their About Me on it, all that stuff that needs to be done, get it verified so that Google knows it's a verified site. That helps, okay? Get their website associated with their YouTube channel and verified on Google Webmaster Tools so that you can link inside the video, right? I'll do the editing. Correctly. I'll make sure it has all the links. I'll make sure it has a good description. I'll add a bit. I'll put whether it's a common license. In other words, I will take care of all that, and I will show that business how to share that video. I'll spend some time with them training them how to share their videos out to their social network.
See, that's huge. That's a lot.
And it's for less than $600. So, you know, what I'm going to tell people is, look, if you're listening from somewhere tonight, and no big deal, it's always the archive people listen to, that's fine. We'll have a custom player of this later tonight. But you can go to Facebook and type in Hurdy Burke Consulting, HURDIE-BURK Consulting, 3 words. You can like me on that page. You can email me. I'll give you my Gmail account. I'm not going to give you my business account, but it's Hurdy, HURDIE.BURK@gmail.com if you're interested. Oh, and I also have, instead of the video 6-pack now, I have that and I have the video 3-pack. So I will come up and shoot 3 videos of your business and cut the price in half for what the video 6-pack is and do the same stuff. And I have a real nice detailed, I can email you a bunch of stuff on it to read if you want some information on that. How this market is right now that's on a comeback.
What?
Podcasting. You know, I was on a we were podcastingmusicians.net back in 2000, right, when streaming was not cool. I mean, we were manual servers, everything was located in-house, right?
Okay.
But after that, we started the ISBN Sports Network, right? Did really well. We were covering, you know, what a lot of people are coming today, but it wasn't easy. Well, with all the automated tools today, podcasting's audio is coming back, right?
That's
weird. You got webinars, free conferencing, people can record those, put them up online. But here's where I think people want to be and they don't know how to get there. So let's say this guy has this phone, right, and he wants to record a message.
Okay.
So he hits this little recorder. He says, hey, this is Bob, and today I want to talk about a tip for, you know, something, XYZ. And he talks a little about it, and it's recorded. So there it is sitting on his phone. So all he has to do is go in and hit share and send it to his email so he can capture it and download it to his computer on his hard drive, put it in a folder so he remembers what it is and rename it, okay? And then once he has that, he can go out and we can host that message on a podcast host site, right? And then I can help them get that to iTunes.
Okay, so that's cool. Okay.
You know, so then they can build. So because once they have the podcast host site set up and once they have it on iTunes, as soon as they upload it to the host site, it's automatically put on the iTunes directory. Everybody's confused. iTunes is not a host site. It's a directory. You have to host that audio file somewhere else and then deliver it to them. So you ever...
so like what kind of stuff do you do for it?
No.
The content? It's just there for them to listen to.
Yeah.
So it's basically just another way of getting an audience.
That's right. It's exactly an audience following because people are always looking for special kinds of things to follow, right? And I tell people are looking for what you have to say all day long. But again, you can link those anywhere you like, right? You can link them back to your social networks. You can link them back to, so you're building your audience and you're building your following. Notice what I haven't talked about tonight. And I love this. I haven't said a word about SEO.
Yeah, you haven't.
And here's the reason. If you don't know your target market for your business, then SEO does you absolutely no good. The first thing you want to do is go after your target market, the people that you're trying to attract, the age demographic, the people that use your product. That you want to follow people who can influence you, that can help you be part of your collaboration. You know that you remember the movie with Alec Baldwin about sales always be closing.
I know, right?
Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's always be collaborating. And the reason is because you want to find influencers that you can influence and help them, and then they help you. So guess what? Once you find your target market and you start getting in the social networking, you really want to start helping other people get out there. And then you need to narrow down your top 5% of the people that are constantly staying in touch and work with them, and you start feeding each other. After. And guess what? The search part, that can start being looked at a little bit down the road once you've got an established demographic of who's using and who's following and who's gaining audience share with you.
Correct.
It's a real big deal.
Yes.
All right, your comments.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know?
What?
She's sitting here,
I'm like...
she's sitting over here side-kicking, and she's petting our dog. Rusty's laying here between us, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of been interesting tonight, to say the least.
It is.
So you know what? There are ways to gain putting yourself in front of your clients, and I will tell you that there's a good mix is probably some traditional.
Well, describe. Okay, so describe what kind of pod things.
Well, how-to tips. How-to tips. How about if you're doing a webinar, right? A 30 webinar.
All right, so coaches would do it.
They would have a recording of that. Then they could go ahead and put that on a podcast platform.
What about a nutritionist?
Yes.
Or
healthy food. Maybe
recipes.
How about smoothie tips every day? You know, a recipe for a smoothie, and get people to follow. I'm just saying.
So people are actually doing all this.
Sure.
And this is huge.
Yep.
Really.
How-to stuff is big search genres, how-to tips, how to change your battery. I mean, you want it to be interesting, right? Well, yeah, there's tons of podcasts on iTunes.
Is there really?
If you go to your iTunes store, and log in, as soon as you log in at the top, there's some tabs, and one says podcast.
Well, I know there's meditation people.
But click on podcast and look at everything that's on there. There's thousands of podcasts to follow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You can find anything. You can even gain, and I tell people before you start that, go listen to some and get a feel for what they're doing. There's some very sophisticated, but I'm telling people to start with this device they have in their hand that has a recorder in it, and when you're walking down the street, say, hey, I got a great idea, you know, or this is a great tip I want to give you today. Anything. Anything. Which is kind of cool.
Okay.
It gets a message out. My podcast is this show, right? So I have a FeedBurner feed that once it's on YouTube, it automatically goes out to my FeedBurner RSS feed. I have a bunch of subscribers on that. So as soon as the show's over and I upload to YouTube, it's automatically fed to them. The subscribers get the newest show.
So the podcast thing is not necessarily a local business deal.
It could be local. It could be because you're putting it up and you're gaining. And remember, you're getting your audience that you want to follow you. So you're going to be pushing it out to your friend, your social footprint. They're going to subscribe. You'll pick up some other subscribers from people searching for it, right? And you're pushing it out like a video. So this is like a subscription
to like a newsletter. So instead of
like a news feed.
Instead of doing an email newsletter, there could be a verbal
newsletter, but they could be getting it from people.
Can you add that podcast to your newsletter or your blog?
Yes. It
Okay.
gives you embed
All right.
code. It gives you all that stuff when you set up on your host channel. That is correct. You can copy links from your iTunes store. When you set it up in podcast, you can click on your podcast and they can download it. Everything.
Okay.
People can download it to their computers to listen to later.
Okay, well
Just
that
like
makes
you do
sense.
when you download your music.
Now it makes sense. It
Okay,
didn't
well,
make
good.
sense. It didn't make sense before.
See, it's
'cause
always
it was
perfect
almost
to have
like
a lay person on the show because then they can ask me these questions and it puts it together in your head a little bit, right?
yeah.
So overall, the market is definitely changing. Google's, and I'm going to review a little bit here because we've kind of been down some dirt roads, but that's okay. Google is the #1 largest search engine.
Okay.
YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine.
Okay.
Google Plus is the center hub for all of Google. This is everything can be attached and run through it. Google Docs, your voice, your Hangouts like we're on tonight, your YouTube, all this is integrated, all right, in your blog. It behooves you to get really familiar with the Google because they're not going anywhere.
You know, out of all the things that I do, that I post on my pages, my Google Plus has the most views.
That is correct.
I mean, seriously.
Yep.
I have like 80,000 views.
Right, and you work at it pretty hard, right?
Well, I mean, not really. I mean,
it just shows up.
It just shows up. I mean, my Google Plus, I don't really.
You post a lot.
But not very much.
No,
on
I don't mean that's
Google
a bad
Plus
thing.
as much as I do on my Facebook.
A lot of people are there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are there, and
there's a lot of people there.
So Google Plus, think of them as the center of the universe for Google. And everything else that Google offers around that connects with it. That's all you need to know. And that means video. And video is better than text, okay, in my opinion. So you should always write a blog, but you should include images anytime you get a chance. Video, images are powerful. If you take pictures, post pictures, right? And
correct.
then put something underneath
when you
it.
teach somebody, you always want to give them a visual, audio, and a tactile. There's always.
Right. People
so the
rather
visual is always a must.
Absolutely.
Always. And that's probably the #1 thing about some of the websites out there, is that it's all two-dimensional typing and there's no visual.
Right, but understand that they're saying that by 3 years from now, 90% of the traffic on the internet is going to be video.
It is.
And already the numbers are staggering. That YouTube has 4 billion unique visitors a month. A month.
Yeah.
And remember that Google...
Because everybody's tired of local TV or cable or whatever.
Yeah,
it's getting kind of boring.
The demographic that's not our age group below us,
yeah,
everything's online.
So they're going on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. They watch their shows there. They go look up the shows that
everybody's
they want to watch.
going to YouTube.
Right. So, and the second point is you need to remember that Google search is designed for hyperlocal.
Mm-hmm.
Their whole search engine is designed to give people from the area they're typing in, searching for a product or service, to give them the best queries in the area they're in.
Right.
Right? So you want your local business to be posting videos or podcasts or pictures or blogs in their local market to their social footprint of generally people who are following them locally, right? So that they get their stuff out there. You can build a great brand and then start to get the lead generation part starts coming down the road after that.
Yeah, because I mean right now, this day and age, everybody is not going out as much. They're stuck at home or not traveling as much because of the way the economy is, and so they're like little sponges, and they're wanting to learn, and they're wanting to do all kinds of things, on the internet, and YouTube is one of those places. It really is.
All right, so we've got a couple more minutes. I want to share, I want to talk about Jeff Steck. You remember Jeff? Jeff with Tyler Erica Systems.
Yes. Uh-huh.
His son's first
First
name and daughter's connected.
Yep.
Tyler Erica, and let me spell that, TYLERICA systems.com. Jeff Steck just launched his book.
Did he really?
He's co-authored with other folks. It's on Amazon.
Yay, good for him.
So it's about how to gain great referrals. It's a whole book on how to do and build a referral business. It's awesome. I think you can buy it on Amazon for $10 or something. So what I'm going to do is direct you to, I'm going to put the link tonight on the custom player when the show's over, but go check out Tyler Erica. That's Tyler, TYLERICA systems.com. I'm sure he has the book posted right in the middle of his website. Go order it. It's awesome. And Jeff, good job, man. Congratulations. Glad to have you as a sponsor, but most of all, really proud that you got that out, and I know you're proud of it. And he wants it to be an Amazon bestseller, so he's been pushing it out there. The shameless plug, and that's awesome. And we want to do a shameless plug for him as a sponsor.
Yes.
And I'm going to direct it on my Facebook page and my Twitter tomorrow, Jeff, to get people to go out and get it. So we're all out here working on your behalf to get that thing cranked up. Okay.
Absolutely,
so thank you for your sponsorship. All right. So
how many more minutes do we have?
We got about 3 minutes, and I also want to tell people that if you want a social footprint, depending on your target market, there's some really good social sites you should start with. And I'm going to tell you that Twitter's not a bad place to be, but you got to be careful how you do that. I use Twitter as a third-party. I post a lot of third-party articles about what's going on, so I have a lot of following there because people want to know all the cool things going on video, right? So it's not about me. It's about articles and what's going on in that world, so they can follow the video trend. I keep up with everything on video there. You definitely want to have your Facebook personal, and you want to make sure that you have that page that has the blank briefcase because you didn't get your business page set up right. You can call me. I can help you with that. You want to get your business page established. Some of you have set up groups, but you haven't built your business page, and so when people click on your business, it goes to this stupid page that has a briefcase at the top, and it looks so unprofessional.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you want to have your business page set up correctly. You want to be on Pinterest, in my opinion, just because it's a great place to post pictures of what's going on in your business.
Although Pinterest is starting, they're putting the gauntlet on how much stuff is going on there, and they're starting to screen it because they've gotten too many people selling their stuff, and yeah, so they're starting to put the gauntlet down on Pinterest. They're like every other social network. They're changing, but it's still a great place to put visual content. Correct.
Okay, it's a great place to post your videos. It's where my radio show goes there. I post it there.
Videos are fine, but the other stuff like the blogs and stuff.
How many boards you have?
Oh my gosh, I have like.
Have you maxed it out?
No, not yet. I only have like I think 43,000 pins.
But how many boards do you have?
Oh, the boards I maxed out. I have like 341 boards or something.
Right, 341 boards. Okay, okay. I have 10. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. So
I've been doing it longer than you.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place to be. You have the ability as a business to have your personal page, your profile. You can
LinkedIn's really a good place. I mean, it's.
Matter of fact, I'm posting. I'm replacing a lot of my Facebook business posts over to LinkedIn now because Facebook has really shut down the organic side.
It really has, and that's why I was trying to say what the best way to dance around Facebook's
go to LinkedIn.
Stupid thing, and it's LinkedIn.
Right.
LinkedIn and Google Plus, and if you add those two, it'll save you from the BS of posting and letting them only see certain stuff.
Right, and I recommend when you're on LinkedIn that you set your business page up behind it. But if you are in an industry, you should follow the people in the industry. There's a lot of groups on there. I have about 30 groups I follow related to my industry that I don't necessarily post on, but I join them, and occasionally I post, but mainly I read. I read what people are thinking, what's trending in video, what's trending in podcasting. So I follow all those people, and I let them come up with the ideas, and then I kind of create off that. So I learn from people from groups. So join a bunch of groups, right?
Yeah.
Now, you can do the same thing on G+, okay? You can join a lot of communities. I'm a member of just about the Google YouTube group, the Google Partners program, all that I follow. Google Organic, a guy set up. I follow everything there is about Google. That is where I do my research and watch what people post in those groups, because a lot of smart people are posting in there. You can learn a lot by just watching the post every day in those groups. And you'll get ideas of what you need to do and what the trends are, so you'll be able to keep up with it. But here's the most important thing before we get off. If you had a Google Places page, that was the original page that you signed up your business when you signed up on Google Places, right? They sent you a PIN number in the mail, and you verified, yes, I'm that person, and it created your page. That got switched over to something called Google My Business. And Google, if you had a Google Places page, then you have a Google My Business page that's got a little check mark that's verified on it. And you need to go and start get active on that business page, okay? If you don't have a business page, you need to set one up. And right now, I'm telling you, if you need help with that, you're in the Austin area, and or maybe you have duplicate pages, okay? And Google's sent you a nasty little letter that says, we can't put some of your search results up because we're confused who you really are.
Yeah.
And so we can solve that, all right? And also, if you need help with AdWords, we're here to help you with that, because I'm now, I've got several clients that I work with on AdWords accounts and can help you through that process of you learning how to direct.
See, that's probably what you should have talked about tonight.
Well, we can talk about that another night, but I don't want to get into the semantics of it. I'm just saying, basically,
because all that is confusing.
Well, look at it two important ways. AdWords allows you to control your own budget and direct your advertising message to a very fine, targeted market. Okay, as opposed to going and buying an ad and paying X amount of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And that's the set amount. You maintain that. So we'll talk about that on another show. But I will tell you that with Google's algorithm changes, and now that they're adding AdWords to YouTube's and AdWords Express and some of the other things, it's going to behoove a lot of local business to start thinking about AdWords, because of the way that they're changing their algorithms. Okay, because remember, they are a for-profit company that's a search company. Okay, so they're going to do what they have to do.
Yeah, but what's the difference between that and what Facebook is doing and making you do?
Well, Google's the first largest search engine, and it's the way that they've designed it. Everybody's, in my opinion, from Yahoo to Bing to Facebook, even to a certain extent, have a lot of the AdWords type of system set up in them. It's a good copy, right? So you can promote your business on Facebook by buying those promote ads.
I know,
and go
expensive.
Well, but again, if it reaches your local market, it might be a good thing. It depends on your target market. It really does. So you just got to know it. All right, so I don't know if it's been all about video, but my niche and my tactic is the video realm, along with the social networking, along with the Google stuff, right? From AdWords to sitting down with you and helping you map out your target market and consult on that and figuring out who it is you're trying to gain as a client now and down the road and a repeat customer. And so I come with a notebook. We draw little circles and we fill in those blanks and we come up with a plan. But better yet, Yvonne, I really do the research on the companies I work with.
Yeah,
I spend a ton of time diving into what's going on. So, all right, everybody. So, thank you I want to thank my guest for being here tonight.
I didn't do too much. I was just hanging out here.
Still hasn't sent me a message saying I'm sorry after sending 2 text messages. So either we confused the dates, and I hope he wasn't in a wreck or something. So I'm going to leave it open if something probably happened, because we talked about this morning. So I'm going to try to call him as soon as we get off the show.
Okay.
Thank you for being on the show tonight.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Thanks for filling in.
You're welcome.
You want to say anything to everybody?
No.
Like good night?
Aw,
How about take us out? How about saying this is the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network, and I'm Yvonne Lane, and we'll see you around the corner next Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Can you say that?
Oh, heck no.
Go ahead. Hey, everybody, we will see you next Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., and we will have a real guest in here next week. Thank you for sidekicking. Thank you for sidekicking with me tonight, and thanks for bringing your input. You are perfect for this because you are the most lay person at this, I know, but you've learned the value of it by sitting back and doing a lot of stuff, and you're understanding everything it knows to go on. Oh, by the way, Sleeper Yvonne. Yvonne's got great graphic design. She can, I'm not saying she doesn't sell it. She does it for herself, but here's the deal. She can put a piece of software in front of her, and she can figure it out in no time. I'm sitting up here beating my head, and she's going, oh, I figured that out. That's real easy. Let me show you how to get over there and do that. Thank you. So she's got that side of her brain in gear, okay? So we will see you guys around the corner. This is the Hurdy Burke Internet Broadcast Network. We'll see you next Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Good night, everybody.
Good night.